power goes out, you got a freezer full of ribeyes, you're using your phone as a flashlight, and the power company says restoration sometime tomorrow. All you can think about is that Generac commercial you've seen 100 times. Here's the major residential backup power options from an electrician's perspective. Your main types are portable generators, natural gas and propane standby, diesel, PTO driven, battery backup systems, and EVs that can feed your home. Some are cheap to buy, some are expensive to run, some are reliable, and some probably make no sense for you. Let's look at this the way you need to make the decision. Always keep in mind your loading considerations. Your generator size isn't necessarily based on your whole house, unless you choose an automatic standby system. It can be based on what you want to turn on. Some of these will handle whole home support, and life goes on as usual. Some provide power for necessities. Have a solid understanding of what you need to power. Now, you may know of someone who's backfed a panel. Don't do it. You're just risking hurting a linesman or yourself. If you're going to power your home with a generator, you need a transfer system. They include manual circuit transfer switches, panel interlock kits, automatic transfer switches, meter collar transfer switches, and battery transfer systems. Most homeowners end up choosing between an interlock kit or a manual transfer kit. This is the part that keeps your generator from energizing the grid. The cheapest option is a portable generator when you look at both purchase price and installation costs. Installation involves adding a power inlet box, or in some cases a meter collar transfer switch, with a cord connected from the generator, and either a transfer switch or a panel interlock kit so you can safely energize your panel. You manually decide which loads get powered at your panel or transfer switch. Portable generators can handle essentials like refrigerators, lights, internet equipment, and sub pumps. They're affordable and flexible, but require manual setup, fueling, and monitoring. Capacity is limited. And at 200 plus pounds, I don't think you're going to enjoy wrestling with it during that storm. The most common backup power system is a natural gas or propane standby generator. These are installed outside the home and are connected to an automatic transfer switch. When the power goes out, the generator starts and the transfer switch moves your home from utility to generator automatically. Some manufacturers offer management apps for monitoring, exercise time, and checking maintenance. Controlling the generator under load usually isn't an option, but I will give you an exception in the savings chapter of this video. These systems must either be capable of carrying the full connected load or use load shedding to manage demand. They're extremely convenient, but propane models can consume a surprising amount of fuel. Now, diesel generators. If reliability is your priority, these are the gold standard. They're durable, efficient under load, and capable of running for long periods with maintenance. Diesel stores well compared to gasoline, especially with treatment. These systems can be paired with engine controllers like the Dynagen, which allow auto, off, and manual modes, monitor engine conditions, and accept remote start signals. Diesel systems cost more upfront and require refueling, unlike natural gas, which can continuously run from utility supply. Another long-standing option is the PTO generator. These connect to a tractor's PTO and use the tractor engine to generate power. If you already own a tractor, this can be a cost-effective solution since the generator itself is simple compared to a standalone engine unit. These can connect through an inlet to a transfer switch, interlock kit, or even a meter collar transfer switch. The downside is you need the tractor available, you're putting hours on it, and you'll be refueling regularly. And personally, I don't want to be setting that up in the storm. I'd rather keep my equipment dry and in the shop. Now, battery backup systems are becoming more common. These store electricity and automatically power your home without fuel or an engine. They can also be used during peak electricity pricing times, charging at night and discharging during the day to save money. In places like California, that's attractive. They're silent and require little maintenance. Now, limitation is capacity. Most battery systems are designed to run essentials, not your entire home, and only for a limited time before needing recharge. These systems work best when you're managing what you run. They work well for short outages, but longer outages require grid return or another source like solar, and storms are not the time for solar. The newest option is using an EV to power your home. With vehicle-to-home capability, the EV battery becomes a large backup system. Vehicles like the Ford Lightning or Tesla Cybertruck have around 123 kilowatt hours of storage, roughly 8 to 9 times a typical single unit home battery system. That can provide around 3 to 4 days of typical home usage, and up to 10 if you ration. Head to head, EV backup price can be very comparable to battery systems, and you also get the vehicle. Keep the following in mind: starting loads versus running loads. If you want something like an air compressor to fire up during an outage, you need to plan for that surge. And this is where gas generators start to struggle. On heavy starting loads, they usually don't handle surge like diesel. Diesels handle those loads better, hold RPM better, and recover under load with a lot more confidence. If you're trying to start compressors, pumps, or other hard start equipment, diesel has the advantage. Another mistake is not evenly distributing loads on both legs of the generator. Generators providing 240 volts can handle some imbalance, but the better the balance, the better the generator runs. Unbalanced loads can create unnecessary stress on generator components and voltage fluctuations that sensitive electronics do not like. Think of it like splitting the load evenly across both legs of your panel. There are also adapters sold online that can take 120 volt generator output and feed both legs of your panel. That can let 120 volt circuits work on both sides of the panel, but 240 volt loads will not work because there's no voltage difference between the two legs. And with setups like that, you need to be careful with shared neutral circuits. Normally, if one leg's carrying 10 amps and the other's carrying 6, the neutral only carries the difference, 4 amps. But if both legs are carrying from the same 120 volts, those currents add instead of canceling. So the neutral would carry 16 amps. Let's talk about what it actually costs to run these units. During multi-day outages, fuel consumption matters. At around 50% load running continuously over 24 hours, the cost differences can be significant. This is where a lot of people start to underestimate backup power. Pause this chart if you need a more in-depth look. Some systems are cheap to install but expensive to run, while others are more upfront but are more efficient over time. A lot of the time, you'll be drawing less than 50% load on your generator in a residential setting. These systems spend most of their service life not running. Most generators may only run for a few hours a year. Starting battery failure is common, electronic boards can fail, propane regulators can stick, and mechanical systems can degrade from just one sitting. Diesel systems tend to have longer service life and fewer storage issues compared to gasoline. Portable generators require oil changes, air filters, fuel management, plugs, and regular exercise. Natural gas and propane units need oil and filters, plugs, batteries, and can have battery or moisture-related issues. Diesel systems need oil changes, air filters, fuel filters, new batteries, and cooling system maintenance, but store much better for long periods. PTO systems need U-joint greasing and gear oil, and tractor maintenance must be considered. Battery and EV systems require very little maintenance outside of software and general system health. If you're busy, not handy, or a traveler, that's important to remember. Now let's simplify the code side of this. Backup power systems must be installed so they cannot backfeed the utility grid. Manual systems allow you to choose loads, while automatic systems must either handle the full load or include load management. Grounding and bonding must be correct depending on whether the system is separately derived or not. If the neutral is switched, it becomes a separately derived system. Generators also require proper disconnecting means and conductor sizing. When you simplify all that, it comes down to 3 main things: prevent backfeeding, size the system correctly, and make sure grounding, bonding, and protection are done properly. Here's your savings tip. When paired with smart relay controllers like ones offered by Control by Web, you can start or control some generators, like the Kubota Lowboy, remotely instead of being physically at the unit, which can significantly reduce fuel cost. I've used Control by Web's products on installs. They have a solid product, top-notch support, and they give you real control right from your phone. You can also use the relays to control loads that your generator is feeding for more convenience. If you only need the generator on for a few hours at a time during an outage, that's incredible gas savings plus reduced use, all while staying right in your home. Visit electrohelp.com for assistance, setting up this remote control system, or contact your local electrical contractor. My take: if price matters over convenience, go portable with a transfer switch. If convenience matters over price, go standby. If reliability matters, go diesel. And if you're already in the market for an EV backup starts to make a lot of sense. If budget is no concern whatsoever, combine a diesel standby unit with your EV backup, and that's bulletproof. The key is understanding how these systems actually work before you make a decision so you know what fits. If you're unsure about your setup, visit electrohelp.com for guidance and consultation options. Subscribe for more content and turn on notifications. I'll be covering more electrical topics that can save you time and money. And if you disagree with anything I said, drop it in the comments. I read them all. We're always working towards the gold standard of electrical explanation.